So we've enjoyed Bitcoin coming off of its bottoms in November of 2022 from 15,500. It's moved along with the rest of big tech. And we've seen that big tech has come and it's hit the top of the range and it's pausing to some degree. And we see that Bitcoin came all the way up to the prediction that I had made between the range of 30 and 32,000. It hit 31,000 and it also has paused. And so today I'm going to be going into the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, MATIC. We're going to be talking about the big pullback in MATIC and what to expect next. We'll touch on PEPE and we'll have a brief conversation with my good friend Larry Jones, who's here from Stock Up with Larry Jones. Larry, could you say hi real quick?
Hey, how you doing, good people? I'm doing Paisley Shirt Week, and I'm here just like you guys to really listen to what Stock with Josh has to say.
Well, Larry and I have been having great conversations about the crypto space and the best entry points on some of our favorite cryptos, the ones that are coming up, the ones that are lagging, some that might need to fall off our lists, but we're going to dive into this. So let me just go through very, very quickly some thoughts that I've got on the broader market. You guys know I stirred the pot with "you missed the bottom."
Yes, you
And
did.
if you really stop to think about that video, you know that I've been saying that you're not likely going to get Apple again at 125 bucks. Why aren't you going to get Apple again at 125 bucks? Because Warren ain't going to let you. Warren's going to be standing there buying way before it ever gets to $125. And so I think that we are not all the stocks in the S&P and the NASDAQ are going to come down all at the same time for us and all be sitting on their 52-week lows. And then we get to come along and cherry pick which ones that we're interested in buying. Some are going to hit their lows sooner. Some are going to hit them later. But the fact of the matter is that I don't think we're going to get all big tech back at its low. I think there's going to be a lot of interested buyers well before it gets there. And I'm going to now apply that same idea to Bitcoin and crypto. So Bitcoin down at 15,500, showing strong relative strength, hitting all of the technical cues that I look for as a technical trader that tells me that the low is behind it. It's moving forward and moving on. And I know that we've got recession fears. I know that we've got the potential of a rolling recession. I know that we could begin to get bad data in 2024. But so far, 2023 has not been that bad. We see big tech doing pretty well and getting rewarded. The prices are rising. Now, everything is cooling off. And that's what this video is about today. It's to give you guys a sense of where the cool off entry point prices for some of our favorite cryptos might be. Larry, any thoughts on this?
I'm definitely with you. You know what my strategy is. I was waiting for the major shakeouts to be over. I wasn't trying to time the bottom, and that I did. And of course, now that Bitcoin has dropped in the 27 range, I'm going to buy. I'm going to keep buying. If it drops down to 25, 26, 24, I'm just going to buy in this accumulation phase of crypto. Actually, crypto is easier for me. I was sharing with Josh, crypto is easier for me to invest in right now than the stock market because I know what I want to do. And if I think Bitcoin is going to max out at 90, then I'm going to be selling at 80. I'm going to start DCAing my way out. I'm not trying to time the top. I'm not trying to time the bottom. But be careful of all of these coins. I know Josh is going to talk about it. Pepe Le Pew and all of these XEN, they run up and then they fall off. So be careful.
Well, and I did a video. Thank you, Larry, for that. And I did a video the other day talking about Pepe. And I used the analogy that the cruise ship has sailed. The millionaires, they loaded up, they got their bags, they're in their staterooms, and you're running down the dock trying to catch up. You might be late to the party. But let me give you a quick news story that I followed on Pepe that I didn't cover in my last video. And that's some really ominous and troubling details behind some of the wallets that have the highest amount of value in them, Larry. So you've got these top 4 wallets that people believe are tied to the developer. So these are his wallets or his friends' wallets. And then you have wallet number 5. Now, they built into this coin. First of all, this isn't a, this might be a meme coin and it might be
Right.
an SH coin, but it's
Crap
not a
coin.
dumb coin. Let me explain.
Right.
Yeah, it might be a crap coin, but it's not a dumb coin. Larry, they've built into the code the ability to shut down these wallets through the blockchain.
Wow.
So even though the top 4 wallets are in place, number 5 wallet with millions of dollars of Pepe got nixed, shut down, closed by the developers. And so here's the bottom line.
Did they
Can
say
you
why?
win? Can you? Nope. And all that we know is that that wallet got destroyed, and it got destroyed by the blockchain, got destroyed by the developers,
Wow.
and that's the thing. So you win, but you're not part of the team. You're not part of the club. Are you going to ever be able to get your money? And that's so my precaution. They're not going to shut down your wallet if you got $1,000 in it. But listen, if you happen to be one of the lucky ones and you happen to be holding a lot more, already there's a sign of a rug pull feel behind that. First, personally, if they didn't want me to think that it was going to be a rug pull, then they needed to come out and explain why they were doing that. All I know is they've got the power to do it, and they're killing the wallets that maybe aren't their friends, maybe that don't belong to them. So listen, big warnings on Pepe. That's the bearish side of Pepe. Let me throw out a bullish side. Okay, now listen, I am not telling anybody to buy Pepe, but I will tell you this: there is a possibility this has run up, and it does appear to me like it's cash out time. The very minute that Pepe got listed on Binance, Larry, that's when it began to crash. So it was buy the rumor, sell the
Tell the
news.
news.
As soon as a larger retail audience was able to access it and
Yep.
got interested and stoked up, then the developers began to sell their bags, and there's the pullback. Now, if I were to speculate on Pepe, the likelihood is that they're going to continue to cash out. They're not. They can't even cash out their full bags, so they'll cash out until it gets back to a specific technical level, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll then go sideways. This is what happened to SHIB, Larry.
Yep. I was
It
going to say
peaked,
same
and
thing
then it
happened
went
to Shib.
sideways for a number of months.
Yep.
And
And
when
then what
Bitcoin
happened?
began to run again, and then when Bitcoin began to cool off, then the meme coins got an additional push. And that's where you could see Pepe come back and even make a new high.
Can
Now,
I share
I
something?
am telling you that for most, go ahead, brother.
Here is another example. XEN. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. We'll talk about that later. XEN. This is what Josh is talking about. Look at that. Ran up, ran up, ran up, and everybody, this is when everybody finds out about it, when it's 200% up. And here comes the chase. Everybody piles in, and then what happens? Boom, back to reality. And in
Back to
every,
where it
yep, the same thing happened with Shiba Inu. And when I made that big Shiba, I said everything you need to know about Shiba Inu, and I was warning of this, and that plays into where we are with crypto in these crap coins. Okay, I just wanted to show. Go ahead.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that visual. It's a perfect visual of what we're going to probably see with Pepe. Now, I want to quickly cover so much because it's just so much important stuff to get out to you guys. But yes, Pepe, they're going to continue to unload their bags slowly over the next couple months into the bigger audience of Binance. And then it's probably going to go sideways. That's typically called a reaccumulation phase. These things, even though they're not assets like Apple, stocks and cryptos still trade in the same accumulation, markup, decline, and distribution phase, and then decline, and then despair, and then reaccumulation. We're probably going to see that same path, and very likely about 3 or 4 months from now, there will be another leg up on Pepe. But I would just say to all of my listeners that right now it is in a distribution phase. That's my opinion. So why do you want to buy something when bigger bags are distributing on you? That's that whole greater fool theory. So be very cautious, but I'm not saying it's entirely dead, but I am saying it's crazy high risk with developers that can shut you out if they want to, and probably is going to come down. And if they don't destroy the project over the next 2 to 3 or 4 months, it probably have another push up, but that's all we're going to talk about, Pepe. Let's get to some real crypto right now. Let's talk about some Bitcoin. Larry, can you pop me into the charts? Larry's hosting this live for me, so there's some lag in it. And but I appreciate you, Larry. Here we are into the Bitcoin chart. I want to go through some things. First off, I'm showing you guys the Gaussian channel on Bitcoin. I'm showing you weekly candlesticks, which means that each one of these candlesticks represents an entire week in the market. That represents the open price for the beginning of the week, the low price for the week, the high price for the week, and the close price of the week, each candlestick. Now, you guys know that I've said that we have this crossover in the Gaussian channel. Obviously, this was the big 2022 bear run brought us down. Typically, in the bear bull cycles with Bitcoin, it has a sort of a double low. We got that here. We got a low here around 17.5, and then with the FTX collapse, we got that 15.5. And I'm just kind of recapping. We then pushed back up. We got a little bit of question zone when we got to the channel, whether or not we were going to continue higher or whether we were going to lose ground. This ominous day here, ominous week where we kind of began to pull back away from the channel as if Bitcoin was dead. But then the buyers strategically came in, probably liquidating all of the bears. This was a massive bear trap right here, just a massive billion-dollar bear trap. And then, of course, it got pushed up through the channel. And we're in the top half of the channel. And I've been talking to people on the page here that every time we get to the top of the channel, that typically means that the low is behind us. Now, we are between these areas which I've given in the past. We've got that 32K. Give me a minute with my chart. We've got that 32K, which is still my target. I think 32, 34 is very, very plausible. But what I see happening right now, and I can't keep this any more simple, about 2 weeks ago, I gave a prediction that we would come back to 26,566. It does appear that we have a very strong possibility of coming back and touching that. If we did touch in this zone, we would simply be coming through the channel and coming and kind of running along the base of this middle part of the channel, which is an average price, and then continuing up to the top of the range 32. I personally believe that's a somewhat inevitable move. And I think that the buy price is going to be in the mid 26,000 to potentially the mid 25,000. But you got to remember, sometimes those lower prices get caught up in the middle of the night. And if you're not sitting there looking at it with a buy order at 2 in the morning, you might not get that 25.5. But I do think that we could see this 26.5 range pretty easily on Bitcoin. Now, I don't want to hear from people. Josh, you told me it would pull back to 26.5. It only pulled to 27. It shot up to 32. I'm giving you guys the areas of support and resistance. Support is right around 26K. Resistance above is at 32K. This entire zone that it's in would be called a buy zone to me. Until it breaks probably beneath 25K, would I have any concern? If it broke below 25K on a weekly chart, I would then say, okay, we could come back and backtest 20K. But until it closes and breaks beneath 25K on a weekly chart, it's in the buy zone. So the buy zone is 26 to 32. Even as high as 34. That's the immediate buy zone. So let's quickly jump around. I want to get a number of these covered for your guys' sake. So yeah, here we are looking at Ethereum, and we're in a similar spot. Ethereum actually hit my target of around 2,200. It hit 2143. Came very, very close to that immediate target. But here's the main thing I want to point out to you guys, that in this Gaussian channel, we're along this line of support. Yes, it can continue to trend down, and it could even come and flash hit this support line that I've drawn. And so I view that that could be anywhere between 16 to 1800. But I'm going to tell you guys the same thing that I'm going to tell you about Bitcoin, is that while Ethereum is operating in the upper part of this channel, it's in the buy zone. Okay. And yes, you could get a lucky moment in time where it flashes down and hits this trend line, which I've drawn, which would put it between 16 and 18. And then it likely would get bought up. You'd get a similar candle as to what we got right here. And then we would then be moving on our way back up to the top of the channel, which is right around the 2200 range. So I see us retesting that 2200 range, probably the next time getting to 23. Let's quickly cover ADA. Okay, here we are looking at ADA, and I've changed the candlesticks from weekly to 3-day. And I just want to, I think I have a better view of it from that point of view for me. Now, we came down and we touched at around 0.3590. I think that we could, that might have been it. That might have been the low, and we might be moving up from here. But I also think that it wouldn't surprise me if we retested the range of 35 to 34 cents. That's my view currently on ADA. But I still believe that the low is behind us. We're making a series of higher lows. If you see it right here, the lowest low was 23 cents, and we're making higher lows. We had an opportunity to buy it at 26 cents. Now, recently, we've had an opportunity to buy it at 35 cents. We may get down to 34. I don't know specifically to the penny, but I would say that the fact that we're above this channel yet again indicates that we are out of the bear zone, which is down here, and we're up in this bull zone area of ADA, which means that anytime it pulls back and hits support, support being 34 and 35 cents, there's a very strong likelihood that we're going to move up from there. I still hold to the fact that I think we're going to see a 55-cent ADA over the course of the next couple of months. Okay. All right, let me just talk real quick, Larry, about MATIC. So here's what's going on with MATIC. MATIC was in a league of its own for a long time. It was the #1 level 2 project. Now it's begun to see some extremely heavy competition from Arbitrum. Now, I brought Arbitrum to everybody's knowledge about 6 months ago. You could even buy Arbitrum. I told everybody that it was coming and that it was going to be a very successful level 2 project. At that time, you could buy Optimism, OP, but it wasn't available on Coinbase, where a lot of people buy retail crypto. You had to go and get it on a different exchange where it was available. But right now, since Arbitrum has become available, a lot of people in Gulf have stopped buying MATIC, and they're even selling some of their MATIC, and they're diversifying and putting half their bag into Arbitrum, ticker ARB. That's what's going on with MATIC. That's why it's been weaker and showing some relative weakness. But I'm going to tell you that I'm not scared of MATIC. I think I view MATIC as a $2, $3 token crypto in the years ahead. And so these are just buying opportunities for me. So let's identify support on MATIC. You can see, again, I'm on the 3-day chart with MATIC, and you can see that it's coming down and it's looking like it wants to test the bottom of the channel. Right now, it might not get that low, but if we continue down with some sell pressure in the days ahead, we're obviously going to have the opportunity of hitting this 83-cent range. Now, if we go back in time to look at where the lowest support range was, obviously back at 31 cents, I see a lot more support on an upward ascending channel here, around 86 cents down to 80 cents. And so going to add to my MATIC position, even though I've largely been buying Arbitrum for the last couple of months, I think. So that's basically an update on MATIC. I'm going to throw in a bonus crypto for you guys because you ask me about it quite often, which is Near Protocol, which is a crypto that I've covered in the past, which in my mind is in a great buy zone. It's a level 1, but it's got better scaling issues than any other level 1 out there. It's a modern level 1, but we do know that Ethereum is killing it for the level 1. It's got the foundation. And so competition for level 1s is becoming way tougher, but there's a ton of money behind Near Protocol. And right now, I think that there is a strong opportunity for it to move up when alts begin to move, which they haven't yet. I think that Near Protocol can swing back up and hit $3. So right now is a time frame in which I am adding to my Near Protocol position because it's been in an attractive price zone.
I have a question to ask really quick. This is what I want to know. I want you to tell the people that don't know, where are we?
Well, I would tell you that this chart is a great chart illustrating the 4 cycles of any crypto and any stock. Now, this has been designed to point out crypto, but truthfully, all stocks go through an accumulation phase and then a markup phase. And then the smart money bought it in the accumulation phase, right? Then there is this markup phase where there's a frenzy. They start having these great earnings. They start getting more publicity, messaging on CNBC. News articles begin to come out about how whales hold large positions in it. That typically is the characteristics of the markup phase. And then here's the purpose, guys. Now, a lot of retail, they're perpetual buy and holders, always waiting for an arrival of a landing on the moon, right? So after something has gone up even 1,000%, retail tends to want to buy and hold, but the smart money wants to take profit. And smart money and the whales that accumulated in the accumulation stage, they began to sell it off in the markup phase. They could sell 25% of their bags or 50% of their bags and continue to hold the rest and do extremely well. They've got sell strategies. That then puts them into a long-term distribution phase, which really is a decline. Distribution often looks like a decline, but technically it can vacillate with a much higher price range in distribution. That's what sets distribution apart from decline, is that it vacillates up and down in distribution wildly. Often that snags more folks in the retail market. And then officially you get into the markdown phase or the decline phase, which is typically some much stronger pumps to the downside. That's when you get beneath the Gaussian channel. That's when everybody falls into despair, thinking that it's entirely over, only for it to actually be entering accumulation stage. And so, yes, Larry, I think that we are back in accumulation on crypto right now.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure we had that. Out of the roughly 400-day cycle, that's where we are. How long do you think we will be in the accumulation phase?
Well, that's a great question, and keeping it super simple and easy for everybody to understand, we've got the Bitcoin halving event sometime March of 2024, and typically the Bitcoin will get back to whatever the previous high was right around the halving event. So it's very possible the Bitcoin could be all the way up to 48,000 or in that range, even above it, around March of 2024. And that would not be considered the markup phase. That would actually still be considered part of accumulation. It would be after March of 2024 for the following year, running all the way to March of 2025. There's the potential that that would be the markup phase. Of course, nobody knows the top. And in my experience with the last two crypto cycles, Larry, whenever we've been at the top and whenever we're out of it and we're falling, almost nobody accepts the fall. Nobody accepts the demise, the crumble. And I'll be honest,
to the moon.
You know, because we have these expectations of where it's going to go. Sometimes it's technical. And I'll just be really candid and tell you that I was having a really hard time accepting 64 as the top of Bitcoin for this last run. I really thought that we would get up to around 79 or so, 80. Now, I think that Bitcoin's performing well. And I think you and I have talked that we're going to probably take it more conservatively on the next bull run. If we get a 3x or a 4x on our top crypto positions, I know that you and I are talking about locking in some bigger gains and profits. That's right. That's right. Hey, I don't even think I actually talked about hitting that subscribe button. If you made it this far, I feel like, you know, hit that like, and we probably earned that subscribe. Larry, I know you wanted to briefly mention the class. You want to share about that?
Yes, I do. I want everybody to know, and I want everybody on this page to click the link below that says Stock Up You. And why? Because you hear Josh showing you and teaching you all of these charts. Josh has a whole chapter where he's teaching you step-by-step charting. You also get basic fundamentals by myself and Stock Curry. You got options class with Keenan, Josh, and myself, and you got dividend investing with Mommy Trader. That is Stock Up You. That is below. Hey, go ahead and download it. Also, too, you'll see Moo. You'll see a link for Moo on this page, Stocks with Josh. Download it. Make sure you fund it. Yes, you may get a phone call. That's just to make sure that you are you. Deposit a minimum of $100. Get 10 free stock. Depending on your deposit, you can get 20 free stocks worth up to thousands of dollars.
Yeah, to be clear on the charting class, it is for an introduction to charting. So if you're a more mature trader,
Yes.
you might be past it. But this is for folks who have who are just beginning and needing some introduction explanation on charting. I think it's actually pretty clear and pretty helpful.
Yeah.
That's Larry's course, but it's available on my page. Larry's a good friend of mine. He's a great supporter of this page. He's also the one that got me started on YouTube. So I always want to shout him out and let him know that he is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Larry, as always.
We all part of the same family.
All right, that's it for today, guys. Hit that subscribe. Thank you for joining us. Peace and blessings. Larry, you want to shout us out?
Live, love, laugh, learn, and earn. Peace.